Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a really important collection, the complete viol music, Pièces de Viole, by Marais, performed magnificently by François Joubert-Caillet and Achéron, some group of, harpsichord, guitar, harp, bass thing, continuo people. And other viols, and it's just lots of early instruments. This is marvelous. It's on Ricercar. It has 20 CDs. You get all of it. There are 5 books of Pièces de Viole, and wow, they are really cool. I mean, I have taken my time to work my way through this box because, it's not music I know terribly well. I've heard it. I have, Jordi Savall's stuff. I have all the scores, the original published editions. They're beautiful. They've been published in facsimile. And I've, had them sitting around gathering dust. And I really, really wanted to sit down with a complete edition and work my way through them. So thank God this came out because I was able to do that. And it's been quite the experience. Normally, as you may have noticed in my earlier videos about music for the viol, it sounds like a dying cow as often as not. And frankly, when Joubert-Caillet plays it, it does not sound like a dying cow. So that's really, really good. There are very, very few bovine moments on these 20 CDs, which makes them really a joy to listen to. They're beautifully recorded. But more importantly, Marais was a wonderful composer whose 5 books of Pièces de Viole, which occupy these 20 CDs, it's a lot of music, really a lot of music, were published between 1686 and 1725. Marais died in 1728. So they cover basically his whole life, and they follow the evolution of Baroque music, the early works with basso continuo, as simple-ish, let's put it this way, dance suites, the usual dance numbers, Allemande, Courant, Sarabande, Gigue, with an occasional chaconne or, Passacaglia type thing, and preludes and fantasies, the things that we kind of expect from the mid-17th century. We all know what to expect from the mid-17th century. But then, oh my goodness, they start getting more interesting. We start feeling this sort of interchange between what Marais was doing and what Couperin was doing in the harpsichord realm. Programmatic pieces, suites arranged by theme, let me just give you some examples. By the time we get to the third book, which is right here, the third book, we've got interesting little titles for things like Charivari. Charivari is a fandango type thing of craziness, of fricassee, you might call it. Le Brillant. Let's see, what else have we got? Gigue la chicane. Let's see, what else? Oh, goodness. Oh, yes, the Saillie du Café, as in cafe, coffee, that kind of stuff. And then when we get to the fourth book of viol things, all hell breaks loose. He's writing from 1717. He's completely set himself free. And the main chunk in that book is the Suite d'un goût étranger, the suite in foreign taste, where he adopts things from everywhere in the universe that he can. Jordi Savall recorded a lot of this music, and particularly this bit. And some of you may have those. I have the Jordi Savall Marais stuff, and it's very, very good. But I like this guy's tone actually better. I really do. I think his playing is more beautiful. But you've got, La Tartatine and the Fête Champêtre and Le Tourbillon and the uniform, L'Américaine. There's an American girl hanging out here. And you've got all kinds of different things that are coming from all the countries in the world that he can basically evoke in these pieces. It's just a wonderfully imaginative thing. It's just free and exciting and wonderfully well contrasted, and it's beautiful. But then when we get to the fifth book, which, like I said, was published just 3 years before he died, we have possibly, he started to get a little bit more eccentric. There are things in here called, la grotesque and, things like that. But here, in this book, let me see if I can find this sucker. There is the amazing, absolute amazing, the Table de l'Opération de la Taille. That's in here. Let me see. It's in the suite in, it's very famous. We actually had a little chat about it once before. It's just such a crazy, crazy piece. Now, of course, I can't. Oh, there it is. It's the suite in do re mi in E minor, from the fifth suite of Pieces for Viols. What that is a very programmatic description of the surgical removal of a bladder stone. I mean, it's one of the earliest pieces to depict a surgical procedure. He survived. I mean, remember back in those days when they did these things essentially without reliable anesthesia and sterilization, God only knows what could have happened. And the chances were you weren't going to make it. But he did. He did. It's 3 minutes and 14 seconds of fear at the opening, and then cutting, which is really graphic, and then finally calm when he realizes that he's probably going to live and the bladder stone has been removed. It's a remarkable work by a remarkable composer. His most famous piece, by the way, is, Le Sonnerie de Saint-Geneviève du Mont de Paris. That's not in this collection. It's part of his La Gamme, his other collection of instrumental pieces, symphonies, he called them, actually, for small ensemble. Anyway, this is a fantastic 20-disc set on the Ricercar label. Once again, it features François Joubert-Caillet and the ensemble Achéron, and they just blow through this music with uninhibited enthusiasm. You may not want all 20 discs of it. I wouldn't blame you. But I'm glad I have it. I was really happy to have the opportunity to actually sit down and confront this music and learn to love a lot of it instead of just making fun of it, which is, of course, also very enjoyable. But that's, there's a point at which it just becomes kind of ignorant, and, you need to actually take it on its own terms. But it's not unreasonable to expect that the music should be played beautifully, that it should be digestible, that it should go down smoothly. And these performances do. They have passion, they have charm, they have color, they have variety, they're superbly engineered, and this is one hell of a collection. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.